Yard man, yard man, yard man, yard man, yard man, yard man.
Because we're actually at a point now where in the season we're about to get into the playoffs, and I think it's time for us to give some picks in terms of who we think and where we think teams gonna be in the playoffs as well as the playing. So you know what? Let me hear you kick off this one in terms of the whole playoff picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's that time, people. When it comes to the playoffs and basketball, NBA is nothing like it. I love when now we have a different spectacle where we have the play-in now. It's not just the first best 8 teams. It's essentially 10 of the best teams in the league are going up against it. And the first ones that we're looking at is on the West Coast. On the West Coast, currently, because we still have 5 more games left, we have the Warriors, who are 10th, who are going to face the Kings tentatively. Then you have the Pelicans versus the Lakers in the next round. Then we have on the
Mm.
East Coast, we have the Bulls and the Hawks for the 9th, 10th seed. And then you have the Sixers with the newly back from injury Joel Embiid against the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler and the crew. So at the end of the day, just looking at those matchups, I kind of want to say, the. I think the Warriors have it, man. I think the Warriors can beat the Kings. I think the Lakers will end up beating the Pelicans and probably be the 7th seed. Or even if they
Yep.
lose the Pelicans, they'll beat whoever comes in the 9th or 10th. But if the Lakers beat the Pelicans and the Warriors beat the Kings, like I believe, the Warriors will play the Pelicans and the Warriors will be the 8th seed people against the T-Wolves. And that could be an upset. And then we'll have a 2-7 seed against the Lakers and the Nuggets. What you feel like, Melo? Just for the West Coast.
Yeah. For the West, I agree with you. I think the Lakers gonna beat the Pelicans. Zion Williamson and them boys, them saucing it up out there in New Orleans, you know. That's what I hear them say, New Orleans. So out
Oh,
there in New Orleans, them saucing it up, them do them thing, but I just don't think them have enough to beat a veteran Lakers squad who wait until the end of the season and rest themselves strategically just for this purpose. I actually have an issue with the playing as a whole, but we can talk about that next time. When it
yeah.
comes to Kings and Warriors, hmm, the Warriors to me done right now, and we should probably have another revisit that. Cause I think it's being revealed how not impactful Draymond is by virtue of the Warriors' low seeding. Cause although Steph, I mean, him trying him best, they're trying to squeeze every last bit of life out of him to to get this team forward, but. You know what I mean? Them way down, them way below what we think they should be, and I think it's about time them done. So I think the Kings gonna beat them because the
Yeah.
Kings kind of peaking at a good time. So them looking really good. So I think Warriors lose to the Kings. Kings go to the play the Timberwolves and Lakers end up with the Nuggets. 1 second here.
Okay, so you
What the
have
hell?
you actually have the Kings beating the Pelicans if the Pelicans lose to the Lakers.
Do I wait? Repeat that one.
No, so I say you actually have, so if the Kings beat the Warriors, right, then they would play the loser, the Lakers Pelicans. So you have the Kings beating the Pelicans.
Kings beating the Pelicans.
If
No,
they,
actually,
if
yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, so I have the Pelicans beating the Kings actually. So the Pelicans would be the 8th seed. I'm bugging.
Yeah, and guys, at the end of the day, this is tentative, so like the actual matchups might not be the same when we see it. The games are close. Every team is within like basically 1 point. There's 5 games left at the time of recording, so it could be a mix-up. But really, what we're saying is that Lakers and the Warriors for me will be the 7th and 8th seed. I think that's the same thing that Javier is saying. So whichever how if it ends that way, that's what we're going for. For the Eastern Conference now, I see the Heat, who are currently seventh, Sixers in eighth. Now we have the Pacers are slightly there with us in the sixth seed of 44-34. So they're there and they can also be caught. But then we have the Bulls and the Hawks in the other plane. For me, it's gonna be the Heat and the Sixers who end up making the playoffs, regardless of how that matchup is. I just don't think the Hawks are good enough. The Bulls too inconsistent. Joel Embiid should be enough to beat any of these teams. So yeah, talk to me. What you feel like on the East Coast?
For sure. The 9 and 10 seed for the East actually have losing records. So, statistically speaking, I
Get them
expect
out of
them to
here.
lose.
So they should
Yeah,
even be in
them.
the plane. Like going on what you saying, them money not even for them at the play in real talk.
Right.
Like with a
Yeah,
losing
because
record like that, them should even consider that. Like the regular season gonna feel like crap to the Heat and the Sixers, and don't even deserve to be.
right, right. Because the playing actually cheapens the value of the regular season. And to me, it has value when there's extreme parity and all of the teams have
Right.
very close to the same
Like
record.
on
But
the West it fine. Well, on the West I'm
right,
okay with it. On the East we shouldn't
right,
have this. Them man there for
right.
chill, relax, and know you're in the playoffs.
Exactly. The seventh and eighth seeds have winning records. The ninth and tenth seeds nowhere near winning
Yeah.
records in the East. So it's like, what the hell? What's the point? So you end up putting additional stress on the seventh and eighth seed of the East for no reason. Why did they bother and win all those games, in the regular season if they're gonna end up playing these two teams anyway? So yeah, I agree with you. Heat and Sixers, them definitely making it into the playoffs. I think the Sixers beat the Heat at first, and they end up playing the Bucks as a seventh seed, and the Heat beats whoever come out of that losers battle, and they end up as the eighth seed to play the Celtics. So from there now, it does get kind of dicey. What you want? Do you want to see how, like, give a little prediction on how the
Yeah, let's
bracket
give her a
breaks
little
down to the
prediction
champs?
before everything forward, man. Right now, as I said, I think the Lakers is gonna forward true, and if the Lakers forward, they're going to either play the T Wolves or the Thuggets. I don't think it's so the man them just know says a Laker fan at heart. So I know this is not supposed to be a debate, but honestly, I want them to be the 8th seed because I think they can take the T Wolves. I don't think they're enough to take the Nuggets. It's gonna have to be D'Angelo Russell playing like he's been playing like onto another level in the playoffs for this to happen, for them to take over the Nuggets because AD not gonna be able to hold Jokic. Gonna have a few games where he outperforms him, but over 7 games, I think Yoke will be the best player in that series, and it pained me for say that. So, but the Nuggets would go through. Right now, it's the Thunder versus the Suns. I think KD gonna show them why it's still KD. Devin Booker will rise to the occasion. I think the Suns take the Thunder out in an upset. The Mavs versus the Clippers. I don't believe in Paul George. I got Kyrie and Luca upset over there. Timberwolves versus the Pelicans or the Lakers. If it's the Pelicans, they get the win. If it's the Lakers, they're out of here. And at the end of the day, I think will be a Nuggets, either a Nuggets and Mavs. It's looking like it could be the Nuggets versus the Mavs at some point. I'm not too sure how it actually sets up. I guess it's the 4 or 5 versus the 2-7 seed. I think I would have the Nuggets beating the Mavs or the Clippers, and then it would be the Nuggets versus the Suns for the final for me. Um, but yeah, it probably would be the Nuggets versus the Suns, or just depending if the Lakers can get to the 8th seed and beat the T Wolves, then we would have a Nuggets Lakers final. But what you say on the West Coast? Bear permutations, you see me?
All right, let me see. Let me see. I agree with you. When it comes to the West Coast, I think the Nuggets ultimately making it to the conference finals.
Yeah.
How the thing I'm looking at, it makes it kind of hard for me to tell how the actual bracket works out. But to me, it almost seems like it would be Nuggets versus the 4 or 5 seed in the finals.
Yep.
'Cause like you said, I
Because
don't think the
I thought it
Timberwolves.
was the first versus the eighth. So if the first beat the eighth and the second beat the seventh, then the first seed play the winner of the fourth or fifth seed. So
Right,
the
right, right,
first seed
right.
will play the Mavs or the Clippers, and if it's the Lakers in eighth, I can see them beating both of those teams. But if it's the Pelicans, then no, the T Wolves no.
Right. So, and I think, like you said, the Lakers, if they happen to get the eight seed, would beat the Wolves. But the thing is, I don't think they want to play that game of losing that first game and potentially losing the second. So I think they're just going to win that first game against the Pelicans and end up as seventh seed, which is going to be bad for them because then the Nuggets would sweep them. Um, and then the Pelicans versus the T Wolves would be a banger. And actually, the T Wolves would come out of that. And
Yes, sir.
actually, if the T Wolves come out of that, the T Wolves could potentially beat the Clippers or the Mavs. Unfortunately, I don't believe much in Paul George either. I think James Harden will do enough as a supporting third option point guard, right? If that's what they require of him, if them trying to get 25 plus out of him, it's them definitely not going to get that consistent enough to beat the bigger teams. Kawhi will be Kawhi, Russell
Yep.
chipping off the bench. But if Paul George doesn't be a valid second option, Clippers is cooked. Although it's my team. So I see actually between the Clippers and the Mavs, it's very tight, but I think the Mavs would beat them. Cause Kyrie and Luca have had deep playoff runs.
It,
Um,
it, it
Luke,
could be the Mavs. It could be the Mavs and the Nuggets then. It could be the Mavs and the yeah.
but I think the Wolves could beat the Mavs. If all right, let's say Mavs beat the Clippers, I think the Wolves could beat the Mavs because them have
Yeah,
enough defense
awesome.
with Rudy Gobert, and then
Mhm.
they have Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean, balling and stuff. So,
Yeah, it's a toss
but
up. I feel like that's a big
uh,
yeah, but the
actually, yeah,
Nuggets
actually, mhm.
Nuggets definitely going to the NBA Finals for me. Barring
Right.
them facing the Lakers in the first round, Nuggets in the finals. Um, on the other end, I feel like it's a percentage. It really depends on the first round matchups as well. But yeah, I just don't. I consider Luca and the Jokic NBA conference final, Western final that people want to see. I feel like that could be a thing.
Right. Actually, now that I think about it, I actually do think the Wolves would beat the Mavericks. The more I think about it, I think so. In my mind, I'm thinking it going to be Nuggets Wolves in the conference finals. But
Okay, okay.
you want let me you want do a quick run on the east side. Let me see what it
Yeah,
look
man. I
like.
would on the east side, man. East side. So east side, how it go? Uh, the Sixers are currently eighth against Miami, but I feel like Embiid gonna win that freaking game. I don't know by any cost. And if them win that game to play the Bucks, I
Yeah.
don't believe in the Bucks this season, people. You know I had Dame as my regular season MVP, and that flop city. So I'm not sure. I don't really. The Bucks just don't look refined. They still haven't been able to like work it out for me. They should be a much better team than the record shows. Although they're still second, so people gonna say are harsh. But I just see if they actually play the Sixers or even Miami, they could lose in the first round, and that could be detrimental to Dame's legacy. But if they win there, I would see them making it all the way to the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for my other squad, the Knicks, Julius Randle is out for the season. People,
Look at the
cue the
shoulder.
practice, cue the pianos, cue the tears. Devastating news, but I still think the Knicks can beat the Magic in the first round against the Celtics. Yeah, that dicey. I would rather they play the Heat, play the Celtics in the first round, and then I can see the Knicks putting up a fight against the Heat once again and possibly being a chance. But the way the Celtics moving, they should march on to the NBA Finals against the Sixers or the Bucks in the other region. But what you say, G?
Yeah, to me the East is a lot clearer. I think it's gonna be Celtics Sixers. Sixers
Yeah.
beating the Heat. Sixers definitely beating the Bucks. I have no hope in the Bucks not beating the Sixers with Embiid back and
Want
fully
them to prove
rested.
us wrong though. You know how I rate them, bro. You know I want to see them, isn't it? Get a chip or go to the finals. Is like one of my
Yeah.
favorite players, similar to Carmelo and stuff like that. Those type of players you want to see win
Mhm.
just on based on how they used to play for their, their own team and the loyalty they showed, trying to get the
Yeah.
chip their way. But it just don't look right for me. Them need to me. I told you this before. Them need to take this team over like it's his. Giannis will get his. Giannis figure out how to get your triple double masterpiece. Them get 50. Get 50, chuck up 10, 15 threes. Get it cracking, brother. Because that's the only
Right.
way the Bucks going to get anywhere. And against the Celtics, you're gonna have to be on some Kobe time to beat the Celtics this year. That's straight up.
Right. I think the reason why I don't think the Bucks can beat the Sixers, even if they become the main aggressor on the Bucks, is because him don't have enough defense. And
Mm,
him going be
mm.
going up against a Tyrese Maxey who's super fast. He's one of the
Crazy.
fastest guys in
Yeah.
the league. And
Yep.
him get in the lane mad nice. Him jump shot is nice. And him have a nice supporting cast. Kelly Oubre. Them have Embiid fully rested and back. So Embiid to me cancels out Giannis and kind of shuts down some more Dame's penetration. So I think Sixers beating the Bucks, man. And Celtics beating anything over on that side. Them whooping the Knicks. I'm sorry, you know. Sorry for you Knicks fans. Y'all
What,
get
what,
to stand. Them going all the way. I think the Celtics and the Sixers is a very interesting Eastern Conference Finals matchup. And who would I pick between the two of them? I'd probably pick. Well, I mean, I had Jason Tatum as being the scoring leader for the league at the start of this whole thing.
yeah, are
So I
we
think
bugging though,
this
bro? What about Tatum? Should Tatum not be in MVP discussions?
somebody had brought that up. Yeah, shout out Cam and Mace. It is what it is. I was watching them. They actually had mentioned that. But he should be in the convo. And I definitely think with all of the pressure on them now, I think him going go guns blazing. So if they
Mm,
do lose, I see Tatum chucking every last shot to the end.
we should.
And
We should.
I think they're gonna if he does that, if him have that attitude, him take that attitude, I see
Knock out.
them going to the finals and
Yeah,
playing
him and Brown need to do
Nuggets.
that. If them do that, them not go outside, bro. This might be
Right.
a Celtics Nuggets NBA final. Um, for me, that would be a great. I would still pick Jokic to win it all with Jamal Murray, but it would be a surprise. I would see hopefully a 7 game series. But that would actually mean the Celtics would be at home. So we'll see, people. We'll see how it actually end up.
For sure. And between let's say Celtics and Nuggets, I'm going Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm going Nuggets too. Going Nuggets
Yeah,
too.
man. It's looking
So
like it. And I mean, if that's the case, Jamal Murray gets another championship. So, yard man, we got
another
already.
vibe, and then let it be said here, Jamal. If you see these videos and you see us pick you from the get go, just forward, just come in, press the link, drop in, hail up the fans, make them know says YaadHoopz, and you can't lose. You see
Yeah,
me?
and Jamal, remember I passed the ball to you that one time, I mean? Don't
Assist,
forget that.
assist, assist.
For
But
sure.
probably Melo's like probably my leading. You're probably my leading assister in high school still. Probably.
Exactly. I've been
Probably.
doing it. I've
Probably.
been doing it. So yeah, people, it's a good video. Get out, I believe, some very nice topics. Forget your mind working if you
You
really
know,
love the game. So yeah,
yeah,
man. YaadHoopz.
can't lose. Oh,
Uh,